Hello. I'm just still setting up stuff. I guess I need to have a starting screen. Like, starting soon. Yeah. Something I put in for next time. Do this too. Make sure this is working. Oh yeah, it's working. I guess I need to advertise this in OFS. So I'm going to do that. Hopefully everything else I did works well. Let me know if there is any stuttering of the stream. Hopefully there's not. Let me just... okay. I didn't consider the fact that it was going to be annoying to skip back and forth with the setup I have, but oh well, it's okay. Yo. Hope everything's going well. I'm gonna turn off the music. I think we'll start soon. Okay. So, I know this is at a different time than I usually do these, but I think there are a couple of EU people wanted to make this available to, should it be possible. I know there's probably a bunch of people playing grounds, but oh well. You can watch the VOD afterward, after all. Man, I really need to make this bigger. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Kind of. Okay, that works. Okay, I should start. So, we're gonna start with being on the recent Bay random rotation. And I think for random rotations, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the weapons for each rotation, or sorry, for each wave. I know this is not something you can actually do in like in-game, but why not, you know? Do a little bit of explaining on what my first impression would be looking at the comp. So this one is kind of good. I mean, you can kind of tell that, right? There's a slosher, there's a mint. Those are both extremely strong weapons. Then you have two weapons that can deal with sticks. So yeah, there's not really any weaknesses in this comp. It is normal tide Bay, so some things, sometimes it's just too hard to do anything. Let's play. So Bean has bamboo, which is the only light weapon. It's weird, the weapon that has the longest range of this comp is also the light weapon. So we have snatchers from the far right. Hope this footage isn't too choppy. So I did watch a little bit of this, and this is something I wanted to note. So you might not know this. Bamboo, well, okay, the part that you probably do know is bamboo's paint is not very good. So bamboo, paint, bad. Is this too thick? This is too thick. And when you're soloing a flopper, what you should actually do, well, in this case, maybe you could argue it wasn't exactly a solo because there is someone in the back. Sticks in the back over there. But what you should do instead is shoot at the flopper. That is too thin. Maybe this one? Shoot. Can you stop moving, please? Hold on. Let's do that. That's much better. Shoot at flopper with bamboo if solo. So if you count the number of shots it takes to kill the flopper, or sorry, to paint the flopper. Can I go back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 full charges to kill the flopper. And if you do the math, I like to do. I'm a math guy. I know not everyone is, or I guess I could say numbers, but bamboo does 160. For a full charge, and floppers have, I guess this would also apply to big shots, 1200 HP. So how many shots is that? I should have to do this. Was it 1, 2, 3? 3 times 8? Is that right? Yeah, 8 shots. 8 full charge for killing an armored flopper. And okay, there's a clip on this. I don't have time to show that, which is how I learned it. But if you're soloing a flopper, you should probably just shoot at it, because it takes the same number of shots either way, and it preserves your progress if you miss it. I figured I should talk about bamboo because I do have a bamboo PFP after all, even though it's not intended to be for Salmon Run. So I think this steelhead could have not been stalled. It's kind of a minor thing though. Didn't have to go up here. Here though is where I think you definitely should not have stalled. So going back just a little bit. So this steelhead activates, and then Marty dies unfortunately to something that you didn't see on your screen. And you see there's 2 lids here and a bunch of lurables. So on your screen I see these 2 lids, and then there's 2 scrappers, and then there's a steelhead and a flopper. So these are all lurables. And because the snatchers are not going to be optimizing any of these eggs, snatchers are going this way, right? So you're going to want to lure all this, especially the lids. You want to bring them in pretty far because they will still on each other. So what I would do here is I would probably go back, like, way back behind the basket. Also, hello, Eventide. Glad you managed to make it. Sorry I couldn't review yours. I do have quite a few to go through because I let backlog build up. So this is probably going to be a while. Hopefully people don't get too tired of just me talking. But yeah, I definitely would have allowed these lids to come in and let Marty stay dead for a while. Sometimes on Bay, especially on high tide, you can afford to keep people dead. Like, as unintuitive as that is. Also, this is another example of maybe you should just shoot the floppers. As unintuitive as that is, sometimes you just gotta leave people dead and let the lures come in. And yeah, okay, so you're shooting them now. So that was good. The audio just go out? Hello? What just happened? Why do I suddenly hear nothing? It still shows that it's sending audio on the stream, so I guess that's fine. Okay, now we have a big shot. And oh yeah, I forgot. Let's look at the comp. So we have double 52. Double 52, a sword, and an edit. Again, a pretty good comp. Oh wait, that's not a 52. What am I saying? That is a 96. Double gal, I should say. So gal, edit, sword. Usually when you have a sword, Okay, thanks, Eventide. Yeah, it was just it was a little bit distorted for some reason, but I guess it's fine now. Um, Usually when you have a sword in the comp, this is probably something you know, but I'm just gonna say it. It probably can solo Big Shot. Mid Big Shot is a little bit tough, but it can probably still solo. Even though it's your only AoE, I mean, it's worth. Later in the wave, anyway. Now is perfectly fine to come help and deposit eggs. So we have snatchers that do optimize on the left side. This is, I think, just a little bit of unfamiliarity with 52 range. I think you're okay to jump there. So I wouldn't get these eggs, because they're optimized. Can I? Let's see how good. Oh yeah, that's what I want. Let me change the map. Bay, normal tide. Wow, that is really small. Good enough. So we have, I believe, these snatchers, and that's Stic, which plants like here or something like that. It's going to optimize it. So I would worry about other eggs first. These snatchers are pretty good, and you want to take advantage of the snatchers as much as possible in Bay, especially for these eggs over here, which normally are extremely hard to get when there's no big shot. Even when there is a big shot like here, these eggs should be left for snatchers if possible, or like you want to kill stuff early there. And the Stic is no exception. I would have liked to see what was going on behind. I'm not exactly sure. So leaving that stinger alive is honestly fine, in my opinion. So I agree with the decision to leave the terrible stinger alive. It's not going to affect you as much as as it's worth the time to go for it. So honestly, that was a pretty high score for Bay Normal Tide. I think the cannon play was pretty good. A classic. I chose this warm-up game, I guess. Warm-up game for me and for whatever. For me as the reviewer. The triple Normal Tide Bay. The classic. Is the audio like off again? I don't understand what's going on. Okay, so we see the snatchers. They bring these eggs up. So I actually would not have gone for these. Aside from the death, which, you know, it's just a mechanical mistake. You see the snatchers for a split second here. I mean, right there. Okay, that is not where they are, but that's fine. And they're going to help you. Also, I totally forgot again. I need to remember myself. Alright, here's the comp. This comp is pretty tough. You have your Stic killer. You have okay ability to kill steelheads. But the issue is DPS. So that's something to keep in mind. Jacobwartle is actually probably the AoE, kind of. It's kind of AoE. If you didn't know, for the benefit of everyone. Actually, you know what? Everyone probably knows. Jacobwartle can hit multiple targets and do more DPS. But yeah, I probably would not have dropped here. It is a bit risky either way, but yeah, I think just the one chum not on your screen, unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunately, this one death on Bay, or I guess on every map really, but especially on Bay, even if the timer is this early for the first spawns, that one death is going to snowball. So it's very, very important not to die. I don't have a better way of saying that, but not to let things snowball. That's the better way I should say. Oh, that snatcher. I guess sometimes the snatchers don't actually work, so maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong about leaving those eggs. These eggs you should be able to leave though. Now I would be slightly worried about leaving my teammates at the base with weak weapons, but it turned out okay. Yep, I like the splashdown. Unfortunately, not quite early enough to get the steelheads. Isn't that... Is this audio not desynced? Maybe it's just desynced on the VOD. Is it desynced over anyone else? Okay. I'm gonna hope that that's not gonna continue. Oh well. Maybe that was just the VOD. I didn't check before this. That is not where I wanted to go. What did I want to say? No, that is because of the VOD, isn't it? What happened with my VOD? Sorry, technical difficulties. This is the first time I've tried editing together the clips so that I don't have to switch between VODs all the time. Yeah, this is just an issue with the VOD. Why is it doing that? Or sorry, not the VOD, with the way I set it up. Let me see if I can restart it. This is at 5:47. Okay, I don't know why it's doing this. Whatever. If it continues, I'll just turn the audio off. Yeah, I guess I don't have too many notes to say except for prioritize luring. Whoops. Luring slightly more. That's the main thing I would say. Thinking about those lids especially over revives. If they would break the lures. Alright. Moving on. I guess... Should I ask chat for questions? If you have questions? I guess that's just a universal thing. Like, if you have questions at any point, or comments, let me know. And this audio just doesn't work, so I am just going to mute it. And you get to listen to just my voice. Hopefully I'll fix that for next time, but it's not a huge deal. Okay, so this is a really funny seed. For context, this is like a 2-hour VOD or something like that, and I picked a couple of interesting ships that I saw. This was certainly a shift. Certainly some waves. So, okay, again, I need to remember. Reviewing the comp. So, this comp, whoops. This comp for Rush. I see a Goldie Killer here, a really good filterer here, and a decent filterer here. And then these two are also light weapons, which helps for egg running. So I do want to see Wiper as the secondary egg filter, and also consider the inkjet. Which on Bay, normal tide, specials are used a little bit differently. But we'll see that on the wave 3. But yeah, I do want to see a little bit more filtering with Wiper, because G-Slosher cannot do everything itself. And you have the Wellstring to kill the Goldies. So I wouldn't worry about that as much. You do get targeted a lot. But yeah, I would play aggressive. I think this comp is self-sufficient enough that you're allowed to play. Let me pause. You're allowed to play like up, like here, when the spawns are coming from this way. And you can play up here when the spawns are coming from that way. It's so important to filter to spawn more Goldies, because the chom just take forever. That's something else you consider with Inkjet too. That was unfortunate. But yeah, I'll talk about that in wave 3. Your snatchers don't help very much either, which is doesn't help. Okay, so did not use any inkjets, which I would say is not really a decision that I would make. I would not save those inkjets for Bay Normal Tide Rush. So this was also an interesting wave. High tide ship. Oh yeah, I forgot to get the map of cooler locations. But okay, I don't hate this positioning. Perfectly fine with me. We see the snatchers. They semi-optimize this area. I guess I should explain what I mean. Let's go to Bay High Tide. And this is so awkward. Can I like turn it? Nah, whatever. These snatchers, which are what they are, will optimize these far eggs, which are normally a 2 throw, to the basket. They optimize it to over here, so it's a 1 throw. So that's what I mean by semi-optimize. Is important to keep note of. So I would focus on getting those eggs in the middle rather than the eggs that can be optimized. So you see there's no special being used. Now I'm not sure if there was VC, but there is a trick with Inkjet that you may or may not know of, that you can jump up onto this thing and then jump up onto the ship. And Inkjet can be used as a mothership special in that way. It's only on this map, as far as I remember. But you should practice that. If you don't know it, for everyone who doesn't know it, practice this in a private job. Do it. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but it does require, like, I would say a couple attempts at practicing, from what I can remember. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's VC, if you knew what your teammates' specials were, but if you did not have crab or whale, which are the other two good specials, inkjet is the third best on Bay. 1, 2, 3. Actually, on high tide, sometimes it's worth draining. But in general, these are the rankings. To me. So yes, learn how to use inkjet on ship. It works on low tide too, which is pretty cool. Just jump onto the ship. So at this point, even if you do not have VC and you don't know what your teammate specials are, you know that they didn't use them. Oh wait, you do have a crab. I remember a crab on rush. Maybe you have one crab? I don't know. So at this point in the wave, when there's less time, when there's like, I don't know, like 30, you can start throwing these eggs over here because they're not going to be optimized anymore. Not enough time. Okay, the mothership is coming. The timing on the inkjet thing is kind of weird too. You have to get there early because you have to jump twice. Okay, so there was a crab. That makes sense. So the other argument, if I just go back, the other argument against, well, the right spot. I think I figured out why the audio is desynced. It's because the way that okay, never mind. So looking at the eggs that are thrown, come on, let me go back. From the back of the ship, like on this side, you have so many eggs in middle on high tide ship, especially sometimes when you don't have great RNG for the coolers that go over here. There's so many eggs within one throw range anyway that you should probably not waste your time with these. It's not something you usually have to worry about for high tide ship, but this high tide ship is not the greatest. Has a lot of 2-throw eggs, and sometimes you just have to ignore them. Okay, let's move on to the next wave, which I kind of spoiled. But this is a normal tide rush sandwich, which is kind of crazy. Sandwiched by a high tide ship. So this comp, now I remember to do this again. You have a filter in the machine. This kind of filters not amazingly well. Same thing with this. Squiffer is your Goldie killer. It's not as good of a rush comp, but it's still workable. I would not play nearly as aggressive with edit though as I would with Wiper. It's more of your cleanup than filter, I guess. Yeah, and that's one reason why. It's just, it's hard to survive with it. Good on keeping the goldies alive to the basket though. It's very important not to kill them too early. I guess these snatchers would allow you to kill some early. So that is something you can note. As long as your machine, that is not the machine. As long as your machine stays, what's the word, cognizant of not killing snatchers, because it's the only AoE. Okay, well, Squiffer counts too, but Squiffer can avoid it. These goldies like here can be killed. I guess you don't really have a weapon to kill it early, huh? But this goldie, like, you can just kill it. Just kill it there. And I would also think about using inkjet too, which, as I said earlier, it is a little bit different on this map. So normally, inkjet has 2 uses on Rush. One is filtering, and 2 is luring chum away. And it helps that the stream kills them too while you're luring, when you're luring directly over them. However, on Bay, so usually to accomplish these 2 things, you use it when targeted. On Bay, that is not the case. On Bay, you use it when you're not targeted. Now, the reason why you do that is so that the goldies can get to basket. Bay, whoops. Bay X. Don't do that on Bay. There's probably other maps that you don't do that to. Maybe. Can't think of any. Yeah, it's really just Bay. So instead, you use it when not targeted. Kill chum far away. But don't lure onto you. And that's so that you can get your inkjet and then go like over here and like literally drop down and kill them as they spawn, or on the other side. Hope that makes sense. So it's just a Bay thing where you're using jet differently. I think for other specials, it's also a little bit different on Bay. For example, Wavebreaker, you want to use it on the bottom, not on the top or over here. Usually, though, Wavebreaker is easier to use over here when the spawns are over there. And again, the point is to kill the chum far away, like right where they spawn. So you'll see this inkjet doesn't really do much. I guess I forgot the third thing that inkjet does, which is help you survive. So that's something that you can also use it for. I would say I think I saw a Kraken. Did I see a Kraken? I went back way too far. Yeah, I saw a Kraken. So Kraken, I would actually say, is exactly the same as inkjet. You don't want to use it when you're targeted, unless, you know, you have to survive. But you can use Kraken up here and filter all the chum without killing the goldies. Same thing over here. And ideally, you know, your teammates survive the couple of chum who that get through. What's the other special? Crab. Crab is a little bit harder. I would say crab. You should just use its that basket because it's a little bit too hard to go out to use crab. But inkjet and kraken, you can definitely use for those purposes. Unless you need to survive. If you need to survive, then do whatever. I realize I'm criticizing Marty. Yeah. This Kraken's also good to use the basket at the end so that you can collect the eggs at the basket without risk to yourself. But yeah, I would definitely not be keeping an inkjet on rush. Like, you probably saw that your usage felt kind of which, you know, it was. But yeah, you just have to use it differently. It is still a good special. It's just different. All right. Now we can get to a little bit of a better seed. Oh, that was such a good transition. Wait, does my audio still not work? Yeah, it still doesn't work. It's okay. Okay, so here we have a Dynamo Seek. I'm not sure if this is going to be interesting to watch. I just thought it would be. It is an interesting way to play. Maybe it's kind of boring, but I saw it, I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. Might as well include it. So snatchers don't really optimize. They only optimize down on the left. That one. So that one, because they're optimized, I would drop down. I would drop down and shoot them. Shoot this Goldie right here, and the snatchers will bring the eggs up. So I guess I can write down as another note. Use snatchers more. Where is my thing? Think about using snatchers more. Heal early on the optimized side. Or night waves too. Where is my play button? There it is. I would say the Dynamo should go there too. And then you get the next Goldie so much earlier, as long as you kill it. So this one, unfortunately, so a little thing about this gusher, again, a little bit of a bay thing. Where was it? This gusher, wait, did I go back to it? All right, I'm just gonna, sorry. The way that I'm scrolling through this is kind of scuffed. So it's hard to get to exactly where I want to be. Okay, this gusher. So this gusher has two paths, thanks to Sadface for mapping it out recently. These two paths look exactly the same. They both go right along this edge, and then one of them turns right into here. One of them goes to basket. They're literally overlapping. So it's really hard to play around which path it's taking. You really just, you have to guess. I mean, there's no better way to do it. They literally overlap. If you ever thought, oh my god, I guessed correctly, it's like slightly to the left. No, they're just overlapping. Unfortunately, you just have no way to tell until it gets close. So fortunately, this one does go to basket. And with Dynamo, you pretty much always want to kill the Goldie. Unless it's at like the very end. Because if the next one's a basket, you want it to be a full Goldie. So yeah, you just always want to kill the Goldie when you have a really high damage weapon. I guess that's another reason you would not want to use Crab. Because you don't need it. Sometimes you do. So this time the Goldie took the short path. Again, no way to tell. But it's fine that it wasn't killed because it was the last Goldie. Yeah. Not the greatest RNG. With Goldie spawns, I mean. Alright, finally a not normal tide. I tried my best to find some variety. I don't think there's a high tide bay in here. But oh well. I remember watching through this. This Drizzler not getting killed, which was a decision that you made. Unfortunately, another Drizzler takes to this spot where the other Drizzler would have jumped to, and that one jumps away, which is pretty bad. I would say, even though these eggs are not optimized, I believe Snatchers are from this side, if I remember correctly. I would just kill the Drizzler there. Drizzlers are just so slow on this side of Bay LT, because there's like jumping spot here, jumping spot there, jumping spot here. And it just takes so long to lure if it's not the first spawn. It's actually one of the reasons why you want to lure. If the Drizzler jumps here, you want to actually lure it this way, because there's less jumping spots. And even now, like technically if you all coordinated, you could try to get this Drizzler to jump all the way over here. But yeah, it's gonna probably just stall there. Or did it? No, it's just jumping back and forth. Oh, now it went over. But yeah, I would say it's not worth. I think you should just kill the Drizzler there. And a little neat thing you had the opportunity to do. And this is something that I don't know if I see people do this often enough, but it's something I try to do. Where is it? Remember that your egg throws do 100 damage. Always. It's not just things that are 100 HP. Right here, just egg throw the Drizzler. Remember, you can do that. Egg throw weak things. Or even when they're not weak. Get 100 damage done to them. And you kill this Drizzler, and I think that's just better. I think it's just better. It's not like a ground truth kind of thing where it's always better, but I think it's better. I don't know. I'm not saying much. But it's unfortunate one of your longer age teammates. Okay. Didn't see that Snatcher? Okay, this is a moment that I wanted to go over. So we see these two lids spawn. There's two lids, they're stuck on each other. That's an issue. Later, you'll see a special is used to kill them. That's fine. However, you did have the option, I believe, to prevent that from happening. So we see here. Okay, this lid spawns. This lid spawns and it's probably targeting you. And you know that this lid is not going to move for a little bit longer. So what you can do is you can bring this lid this way so that it doesn't get stalled on this. So you know this lid is targeting you. So what I would do is I would take this path, like go back that way. That's not a good arrow. Go back this way. That's not a good arrow either. But the idea is to path this lid so that it doesn't collide or like stall in the other lid. But instead it was pathed this way, or like, you know, like towards the other lid, because you went this way. So unfortunately it was stalled. But yeah, this was avoidable, I believe. Pretty sure there's enough room there. So yeah, strike was used. That's fine. That was a little bit risky. Ooh. Okay, this is a really weapon-specific niche thing. Okay, you actually did it eventually. I would have gone in the lid initially to do that. But okay, you did it the second time, so that's totally fine. Good ag running. Yeah. Why is it frozen? Okay. Do I want to comment on anything there? No. Nope, that was pretty good. Yeah, main thing is remember that you can path lids. I don't know. It's just something people don't do often enough. If you see, okay, this is a slightly different example, but on the same topic of pathing lids, let me just go to the map. It's a little bit easier. If you see these lids, like in the middle area here, if you can, try to bring one this way and one this way so that they don't stall in each other, or like there's no chance for them to stall in each other. It's hard to do, but if you have like a person here, or not there, but like a person here who you know has the left lid and a person here who has the right lid, you want to like keep them going that way if possible, because it is much easier to lure if they're like close to each other. Now if they're not that close to each other, you can bring them the same way, and it's better to bring one like this way and then a further one also this way so that you can be on the right side collecting far eggs. But in the case that they're right next to each other, a lot of the time you want to split them. All right. Last wave for bean, and then we move on to some more bay. Okay, so this decision I was not a big fan of, and it's one of the reasons why I chose this wave. Let me just get to it. Okay, so looking at this comp, okay, I know we don't know it's canon yet, but you know, you already saw it's canon. So let's say it's canon. What weapon goes in the cannon? You have very strong weapon with range. You always want a weapon with range outside of the cannon. on bay. So bay, cannon, on ground, range. And that is for snatchers and steelheads because the cannon at the top doesn't reach all the steelheads. So you want a steelhead killer. In this combo, it doesn't matter that much, but G-Charger is clearly one of the ones that should be on the ground. Now, the other thing that matters on the ground is movement. And I see a light weapon, zap, and a weapon with one of the best movements in the game, or the second best, G-Dualies. These two I would put on the ground. Now, it's hard to say whether I would put dualies or zap in the cannon. In this case, I would probably put dualies because zap is the host. But yeah, I would not put G-Dualies in the cannon because it's so good at movement. It's almost even better than G-Roller at getting far eggs. Okay, that's not true. But it's almost as good. You want it on the ground. So I'm not a big fan of going in the cannon as dualies here. Unless, you have really bad egg lag or something, but I would not. Yep, I think it's totally fine to leave that lid to be killed by people on the ground. Remember that your main purpose as the cannon is to do what your teammates cannot. And in this case, you have a G-Charger. So a lot of the things that normally would be tough, like a bunch of Cohawks, you don't actually need help with. But fly fish and stick, of course, that is why you go in this cannon. For those that don't know, 100% of the time you want someone in this cannon. Okay, so last boss spawns 28. And because you have G-Charger, I would say you don't really need to stay in the cannon. Like, even this, your weapon can do that just fine. G-Dualies is really strong at killing groups of lessers too, and you could do that while running eggs. So yeah, I mean, it was a good score, but I would not have put G-Dualies in cannon. I guess I should end on this note. Kind of odd note to end on. Hey, it was a good way. um, yeah. Time to move on to more Bay, but from a different perspective. Benni. And it should just play. Cool. Nice. I like the way I set this up. At least, even if the audio is desynced, it's nice that I don't have to just switch VODs all the time, which is what I did in the last stream. Okay. Looking at the comp here, we have G-Roller. That's really all you need to know. I mean, G-Roller does like everything. Except for sticks. This is your stick killer. And the steelheads are kind of hard to kill. G-Roller kind of should look at doing that as well as the blaster. But yeah, Driller's so good. All right, so this hazard is a little bit lower than the HLM that we have been watching. Again, this drizzler, you want it to jump to the right like that, and then jump again. So I would want your camera to be looking at the drizzler there. So there's a little bit of wasted time. Kind of hesitation, I guess. You're like, what should I do? There's 3 people over there, and all the stuff is over there, but there's only a drizzler over here. So what do you do? Well, the thing is, at this hazard, 27 quota, I don't know exactly what hazard it is, but the timer is about 10 seconds, I think. Pretty sure it's about 10 seconds between spawn changes. Maybe it's more. No, I think it's 10 seconds. 10.3 to be exact. But you have time between the spawns. It's totally fine to do a 4-0 split. To have everyone go this way and finish everything over there, including throw all the eggs, and just let this drizzler be. Make it jump this way, which is what you want anyway, and then make it jump this way to about here. That's the best way for it to jump. You don't want it to jump the other way. And yeah, I would be looking at that drizzler to try to shoot it, at least damage it a little bit. Nice. Focus the stick as the stick killer. Good. I would say you don't really need to get these eggs right now. But, there's another stick, so why not? Why not? You have to be here anyway. I would say maybe there's a little bit too much focus on these basket eggs. And maybe you needed a special to help out your teammates. Like use a strike. I do want to see a little bit more camera. When you're doing these jobs, like basket egg collecting. Oh wait, I forgot to clear the notes. Whoops, my bad. Let's clear the notes. When you're doing a job like getting basket eggs, which is honestly, it's pretty easy compared to other jobs, you want to keep your camera looking and trying to gain info. Like, what's going on over here? Does my teammate need help over here? What's going on over here? Maybe I need to use a special over there. And this will come with practice. Sometimes as someone with less experience, maybe you need to look at the eggs to get them optimally. And sometimes you do have to flick to see where the actual eggs are, right? But as much as possible, you want to be looking, gain info. Do the multitasking that overfishing is all about. By the way, I know you said something about focusing on day waves, so I just picked 3 high scoring day wave shifts. Yeah, I think that's what happened. From 3 different maps. All right, this comp. We once again have G Slosher and Mint. Pretty much handles everything for you. 52 is the stick weapon. Yeah, not much really to say. I guess Slosher can get sticks too, but it's unneeded. Okay. I would have gone to that flyfish. Would I have? The Moz. Well, now it's a little bit of a snowball because you missed the Moz once. But that flyfish on the right, did someone kill it? No, it's still alive. Yeah, I would have focused that a little bit earlier. Nice shot though. Wow, that was cool. So, because these snatchers. Oh, I just saw your message, Bean. Yeah, no problem. I think you can actually rewatch it like already, even though I'm live. Yeah, hope it helped. Sorry if I was a little too critical. But yeah, as long as it was helpful, right? I don't think I have. Wait, why are you uncomfortable? Hello, Night Duel. Hey, what was I doing? I was gonna comment something. I need to rewatch this. Oh, right. The Snatcher direction. So it's a little bit towards the end of the time where Snatchers will optimize all of these eggs over here. But I would still consider. Yeah, I think I would kill everything here. I think there is enough time. Maybe. But these steelheads can be optimized. And then you can focus on getting all the eggs over here without having to worry about this killing the steelheads too. Good recognition on the Drizzler. Unfortunately, everyone needs to recognize it, and sometimes that's pretty hard. Yeah, in that case, that was a good quick kill of the stick. I would consider using a strike here just to clear everything. But yeah, you just me. I've only done this like 3 times. So, or this is the third time. So I haven't reviewed that many people. Ah, the comp. Thank you for reminding myself me. So, this comp. Not the greatest comp. You have Squeezer Stick and Clash Stick. Your DPS is kind of low. Clash is your only AoE. So I would just I would kill things. You have specials to use. Don't spend too much time throwing eggs. Your snatchers you see now, they optimize the right side. Okay, nice strike. That was actually really good. I guess I should note the camera thing. Camera usage. Look at important things, especially to multitask when you're doing less hard things like collecting basket eggs. So I think you see this fly fish and you're like, oh, I gotta kill the fly fish. Where is it? Here. Remember that this left fly fish, that one, is a 10-second fly fish. So don't think about it for too long. It takes 10 seconds to actually get here, or not there, but here. Unfortunately, some fly fish are just like this in this game for whatever reason. They take forever to open. So yeah, you should probably like get some eggs or something. Not sure if you wanted to kill those eels early. Yeah, that was tough comp. Why is it freezing so much towards the end of clips? I don't know why. But okay, another thing I want to point out is don't tunnel snatchers if they have already escaped. This is a mistake that I see pretty often. It's not worth going for snatchers sometimes. You see the snatcher, it's like, oh, it sucks that it was missed, but it was missed. Going for it will not actually increase your egg count. I saw it on the low tide, and I'm not sure if the normal tide one was worth, but yeah. If they've already escaped, don't worry about it. Just move on. Say, I should have gotten it, but move on. Okay, next rotation, which is ballpoint plains 96 Luna on Salmon Smoke Yard. Yeah, if it happens too often, then I would say probably sometimes you just have to have an internal timer on where snatchers are going to come from, or like when they're going to be over basket. Like if I killed something at 63 seconds, when do I have to look for the snatcher and whatever? Or you just have to be very, very aware. It's hard. Snatcher awareness is tough, especially if there's a stick making them very high, which happens quite often as well. All right, now we have a new map. We're done with Bay. Is that a yay moment? I don't know. I think Bay is pretty interesting. Interesting to review. Might not be as interesting to play on. Depends on your personal preferences. Nice. I do like leaving that one egg to see the snatchers. I do want to see you look for the snatchers though. So the camera here, I can't tell. Okay, so now we see the snatchers. They're bad. Okay. That's a nice and early strike usage when you notice that you need it. That's good. Unfortunately, your teammates died anyway. I don't know how that bomb made it in. Nice lid lure though. So there's two stick weapons in this comp. The ballpoint and the 96. With the ballpoint and 96 being in the comp, Luna should not be having to get sticks, ideally. Even though it can. But it's a possible reason that your teammates died there. So if we go back to when that stick planted, I see the stick in the sky at 49, please. I see the stick in the sky. I want to think about getting it as 96. I see that stick too. And I guess you're thinking about the lid, which is fair, but that death possibly was from that stick staying alive, possibly. At least affected by it anyway. Also, that was unfortunate, the egg returning from the lid. I hate when that happens. But yeah, I would definitely think about getting the stick, like, this whole time. And maybe that death was also because of the stick. Although, to be fair, it was the ballpoint, so maybe the ballpoint was trying to get the stick. And then, very minor thing there. If I can get back to where it was. So, this lid, you can use it to kill the other lid. You notice that after this lid becomes a problem. You're going to want to kill this lid. Prevent lessers from spawning there, and it's just a general nuisance. Even though there's only 9 seconds on the clock, just kill it. Stand on this to kill this lid. I didn't even see the missile. Yard is another map where drizzlers are super annoying, and this flyfish takes 10 seconds. Maybe longer. That might be longer than 10 seconds. Ouch. Okay, that was a good strike. I'm not a big fan of your pathing here. Okay, that was good. That cycle needed to not be missed. As much as ballpoint is a strong weapon, it does still have quite a few glaring weaknesses. So yeah, I think in general, what I'm thinking is trying to word this in a good way. Make more decisions to help teammates. Trust teammates to do their job. Get out of the freelance mindset. You don't have to do everything, and you also want to help your teammates do what they want to do. So there's a couple of situations where you can let your teammate bomb the Moz, or you can kill the stick for your teammate, even though it doesn't necessarily help you or what you're trying to do at that moment. It's going to help your teammates do what they're trying to do. So I want a little more of that kind of mindset. I don't know why I drew that there. Mindset. It's tough. Especially I see this in beginners who freelance a lot, and they're like, oh, now I have to move to the overfishing mindset. It's different, slightly. High level freelance, maybe there's a little bit of this already, like trust your teammates to do their job. But you want to avoid doubling as much as possible and also support your teammates do what they're trying to do. I realize that's a little bit vague. Maybe I can try to point out specific instances. So even there, like, just very, very minor things. You turn this car, you don't need to look at it anymore. You have three teammates. You have three teammates here, which you could argue you really don't need three teammates. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get rid of old habits. But you see these three teammates here, they're going to kill the car. You don't have to look this way. You can look this way. What's going on over here? Is there any fly fish? Maybe the eels are doing something. I don't know. Figure out who the eel is targeting, maybe. But there's like, you don't need to look at this. You don't need to shoot at this. Your teammates will deal with it. Trust them to deal with it. You don't even have to get any eggs because there's three of them. Like in this case, it didn't really matter that much, so, but still, it's just something that can help you. That was unlucky. It's tough. I don't know. I don't have too many more comments to say other than what I've already said. But we'll watch the sockeye game too. Why not? All right, next game. I saved the best for last. Oh wait, I have to. What was this rotation? Oh, is this rotation? Let me change that. I don't think I played this rotation very much, honestly. Maybe I was busy. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, that sounds right. Look at me not VOD reviewing things that are months old. For context, I got a submission from Bean during my last live stream. It was a long time ago. And it was for Grand Run stuff. I was like, maybe we should change this VOD to a different one because it's been so long. And they're like, okay, yeah, let's change it to Bay. You can probably learn more from Bay anyway. Grand Run, there's it's a little bit of a too easy of a map, which is fun, but not as educational. That was a tough situation. Yeah, there's a lot of snowballing going on. I think mainly just from what I can tell, it's mechanics, aka practice movement, practice awareness, primarily awareness with the camera things I've been talking about. But with movement, I don't know if I could point to one specific thing. But okay, good recovery. I probably would have, if we go back to that snowball, I probably would have used reef. Because this isn't even the same wave. What am I doing? So what happened? There was like two flyfish. Yeah, two flyfish, three flyfish, sorry. I would have reefed right here just to survive. I think it's worth. Reef is not a special you really need to save. If you need to use it, you need to use it. Just use it to survive. That inkjet being a little bit earlier would have helped. Maybe they died a little bit too, or at the wrong time. But yeah, it was a good cleanup. Right, okay, so it was double high tide day. That makes sense. All right. So we see the sploosh. I guess I haven't talked about this comp. Um, Rapid is technically AoE, but sploosh is more of this lesser killer. But you do want to definitely take advantage of lids and steelheads as much as you can. But good recognition of that, of the weapon rolls. So whether the decision whether to get these eggs is based on the snatchers. I would say as sploosh, maybe you shouldn't be the one getting these eggs. And in the same vein of using lids and steelheads to help you clear lessers, I went back too far. This lid, you can consider keeping there. Like, just staying there to crush it. Now, the issue is it's going to kill the snatchers. So, you probably should not do that for too long. But it is a nice location for our lid. I would definitely bomb the fly fish there instead of throw an egg. Despite it being so late in the wave, I think it's worth. Unless a strike is used. And it would not have been worth. Okay, yeah, that was a pretty good wave. It's just a little minor thing of you probably should not be the one getting far eggs as sploosh as much as you can. But it wasn't a big deal. Okay, let's see this low tide. By the way, I have 2 more people who submitted VODs. So 4 more games to review, something like that. Okay, so I've noticed you like to bring eels back very straight. Like, go back really far, which is fine. I would say it saves a little bit more time if you let it, if you come back a little bit earlier. You don't need to go that far back. Again, very minor criticism though. So here I would definitely be thinking about helping your teammate out over there with the stingers. Okay. The lid stalled at a bad spot for the big shot. That was a good reef. Nice. Why is it freezing? So here, I know it looks juicy. This big pile of eggs right here looks very juicy, right? But the issue is clearing and timer. Basket needs to be cleared first. I don't know why I wrote this whole thing. It took forever. I wonder if you can read that even. Basket needs to be cleared first for big shot eggs to be collected. And it looks very juicy. You can send all these eggs so quickly. They're all right next to the big shot. But it's not really worth it. You need to help clear. With this little time on the clock, it's not really worth. Unfortunately. Things needed to happen a little bit quicker in the beginning of the wave. But with your teammates all dead, like no one's collecting these eggs, so. Alright, but still. 200 day. So that was nice. I don't think I included the results screen. Okay. Next. Hey, so if you have any comments, questions, let me know before I move on. I need to just look at the comp first. What is this comp? Ah, it was this one. Spawning grounds. Explode. 26 with zap. And this is Stic. I should just say Stic RNG. Need to rewatch it again. Yeah, fair. I know I went pretty fast. But that's the benefit of a VOD. Can always watch it again as much as you want. And pause wherever you need to. Now, how do I clear this? I don't remember. You were in a session? Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I know people were playing. I said this at the beginning of the stream, but I'll say it again. I know people were playing the crowns rotation. So sorry if it overlapped, but I figured it was a little bit better to do it at this time, so anyone in EU can also watch live if they want. And it's not just an NA time zone like I have been doing. Okay. This rotation was very interesting. I enjoyed it. I played a lot of this rotation. I haven't watched Stic play before, or I haven't watched you play before. There are so many squid rolls. It's not a bad thing. It's just unique, I guess. I will say, I personally do not like painting floppers when you're not going to kill them there. And that's because they take so much more time to cycle, or it takes more time to cycle when there's no need of that. I think in this case, it was fine. So yeah, this weapon split is good. Only having splish at the cannon. So I will do a little bit of criticism, and this we're gonna be nitpicky again because this is some high level gameplay, and so we can be nitpicky, very nitpicky. Squid rolls lose you a few frames of movement. Okay, so I want to do squid roll vs substrafe. Better for ink, better for movement. So you're gonna want to choose between these two. And especially when you don't have enough room to use your full squid roll, it's much worse at movement, right? So for those big shot eggs, I would probably not squid roll this because ink is not your issue here. Okay, so you did substrafe one of them. But yeah, I would say no need to squid roll any of those. Like even there, is it really worth squid rolling? I don't know. These are very small optimizations, but think about this a little bit more. I think you use squid roll a little bit too much. So think about squid roll is substrate a little bit more. Now we have Expo. Very, very different weapon. See, like this squid roll, it really doesn't help you. So during my own session, we decided, or I kind of made the decision, Explo does not go for far fly fish. Now this is the decision we made, and you could criticize it. It's not, maybe you could argue it's not, it shouldn't be what is it called? A thing without exceptions. But I felt that Explo simply does not have the survivability and the speed to go over there and for it to be worth versus someone else bombing. Especially because you can cripple that fly fish. Yeah. And the big thing that maybe people don't think about often enough is heavy weapon run speed really sucks. I'm gonna put it in red. Terrible. It is just terrible. So that slows you down a ton. And I would say it's just not worth it. Now, it worked in this case, and you cleared the lessers without dying, barely. But was it worth it? I don't know. I don't think so. Especially because the eggs are not optimized anyway. Unlucky. And now you have it like there again, and you make the correct decision to not go for it because it is not worth. Now you could go for it now that the spawn groups have changed, but I don't really think that's worth it either. You know, the splashdown had to be angled a little bit differently for all the fists to hit the drizzler too. I like the idea though. Okay, so normal tide with 96. Or I'm staying quiet. I'm thinking. How do I word this? Now I will say there is nothing huge that I can say about your gameplay. Unfortunately, when you get to a certain level, there are often not big mistakes being made. Also, what the heck just happened? Okay. There are often not big mistakes being made, but a bunch of small ones that add up. And to your credit, I don't see any big mistakes being made, for the most part. Yeah, as far as I can tell, in a one game VOD review. The decision making is fine, positioning is fine. That was just unfortunate. It's just a bunch of little things that add up. And okay, so this is the end of Stic's VOD. I think this is the advice I would give to you. Less is more. I think, and take this with a grain of salt, you don't have to listen to me 100%, but this is my own opinion. I think you're trying to do too much. And it's slowing you down. Whether with the squid rolls, the movement, maybe consider lower sense. Like, I don't know. That's a little bit out there. I'll keep it, why not? And by that I mean sensitivity, by the way. If you feel comfortable with it, don't change it. Don't listen to me. But I just think slowing down a little bit will help you. Will help you speed up. It's like the classic like driving thing. Don't try to do too much at once. And it's ironic with overfishing. Like you want to multitask as much as possible, right? But I think it's a little bit chaotic. And things are getting done, but it's just a bunch of small things that add up. BRB for a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Now we move on. Next and final. How fun. I hope everyone is not exhausted from listening to me talk. I'm sure you haven't been listening to me for the whole time, probably. Did I include the whole thing here? Okay, we can skip that. Okay. All right, what rotation is this? Oh, it's the same yard rotation. All right. And I think I can just say Jacob. That's right. We'll just say Jacob. And clear these notes. All right. let's continue. A quick check, see if the audio is working again. No. Alright, whatever. I give up. No, I'm pretty sure it's not these VODs that are 30 FPS. It's just my computer making it 30 FPS while I'm streaming. Unfortunate that it's not full quality. But oh well. You didn't need to bomb it, but it's okay. Okay. Interesting crab usage. I didn't mind it. Just a little bit of mechanical error, but the decision itself is fine. I didn't have a lot to comment on that wave, to be honest. Me every time. Okay. Yep, that's the decision I would have made as well. That's good. I would take this car back. Okay. I take the Moz with you too. No. I think you're a little bit too far away from the Moz to take it with you. Stream is rip. It looks okay on my end. I haven't dropped any frames from what I can tell, but anyone else? Okay, good. Yeah, I know. I need to change my stream settings. This is I'm streaming this on a different um setup because well, I'm VOD reviewing, right? So it's a different setup than my usual gaming setup, and that's way more clear. So I need to fix that. I'm not sure if that might make it worse for you though if you don't have a great connection because it'll be in higher resolution. But I guess you would be able to change it, like change it to lower resolution. But yeah, I know this VOD is supposed to be 60 FPS and I'm not streaming it at 60, which is annoying. Maybe that's why I thought Stic's VOD was a little bit chaotic. It's just because it wasn't 60 FPS. Hopefully not. You have perfect fiber. I have pretty good net too. Yeah, sometimes, I don't know. It could be YouTube. Probably right. Okay, recognizing these eggs will be gone soon, so that's good. Crabbing for the statics, that's good. Why am I not? I feel like it's hard to find something to comment on. Maybe it's because the hazard's kind of low. I mean, all I've really seen are a couple of mechanical mistakes. The decision making has seemed fine to me. The score is not super high, I would say, partially because of the hazard. Maybe the clearing speed is not quite fast enough, partially because of mechanics. Let's see if I see anything else. I know there's a night wave somewhere in this shift. So I'll definitely have something to say there. Ah, unlucky. Yeah, I would for this fly fish, I find it easier to stand on the little grate thing. I can go back. You see that little grate thing? Like the thing that juts out? If you stand on top of it, it's a little bit easier, I think. Like, I'm talking about this thing. You can stand on that and then bomb the fly fish. Slightly easier. I think you can jump through it, but if you don't have momentum, you need forward momentum to jump through. I find it easier to just stand on the thing. Oh, but it died anyway. I guess it was desync. Thani probably got their bomb in. I would have gotten a few more eggs there. I think you had, even though you're Luna, and maybe you're like, oh, I need to clear basket for my teammates. I think you could have spent just a little bit more time getting far eggs over there. Or maybe not because they're optimized. Never mind. Never mind. Don't listen to what I said. Nice bomb. Now I am wary of this 3-1 split. So we see Chazzy, I believe, has the Flingza and needs to watch the Snatchers. Someone needs to watch the Snatchers. And all three of you are kind of looking towards this direction. It's a little bit suspicious. I think it's a hard ask for Flingza to do everything out of the basket, including watch Snatchers. But maybe she did it. That Snatcher was missed. Okay. So yeah, I think the split there was a little bit suspicious. So, what do I even say? Like, careful of splits? Careful of splits. Yeah, I mean, we could say that. Be careful of splits. Don't leave weak weapon by itself. 3-1 split. You don't need ballpoint and Luna there. At the cannon. And yeah, I think that was a big. I mean, that whole snatcher was missed, so that's what 8 eggs, essentially. Otherwise, good though. Does someone need to be back? I don't know if it was you that needed to go back or just someone. I like the little camera movement. You turned your camera to see the stinger. This snatcher dying was. Maybe I wouldn't have crushed the lid. Hard to say. But good getting that Moz over. I would have bombed the Moz first. But not a big deal. I actually really like using Moz to stop my crab. Because they kill your crab, they don't do any damage to you if you let it eat you in crab. As long as you're in the ball, anyway. But yeah, this... that snatcher... I do think... Let me go back to where it was. That's not it. This lid over here, and that snatcher... I think I would have kept that snatcher alive. I mean, you saw the snatcher's return a little bit too late. This timer, 50 seconds, it's not quite long enough for a new snatcher to come. So yeah, I think this lid just had to live, unfortunately. It was a tough situation to be in because of the statics. But yeah, I do think bombing the Moz there would have been a little bit better. Anyway, again, very little mistakes that just add up. That I did not want to go that far forward. Okay, so here we have a night wave. I'm not exactly sure if Luna can kill all the lessers without special. Maybe it can. I personally, now this is something that changes depending on the play you're seeing. So the question is balancing time spent at full ink tank vs swimming further to throw your egg further. And in this case, over the ledge. Right, that was the purpose of doing that. So you did spend quite a long time with full ink tank here. So if I just watch, you're swimming. Okay, that was not very much time, but here, full ink tank for a little bit. Here, full ink tank for a little bit. And to me, I do think it's worth just throwing the eggs. Now, there's also, oh, sorry, I should explain. Throwing the eggs before full ink tank. Now, the other argument is, so remembering what we were talking about with Stic, or I don't know if you watched that, but same thing with Stic. Substrafe, better for movement, better for distance. So if you're going to be spending time at full ink tank anyway, substrafe. Don't squid roll. And it's weird because you would think, oh, I immediately changed direction with squid roll. Why doesn't it give me more distance? It's just because the airspeed is just so low. Even with squid roll being higher than normal airspeed, substrafe still faster. At least I'm fairly sure. I really hope I'm not wrong about that, because I haven't checked in a while. This is pulling from old information, old knowledge in my brain, but I'm pretty sure this is true. But okay. It's just different tornadoes philosophies. Some players you'll see, like if you look at the 100 tornado bone rattle, you'll see they do spend a little bit of time at full ink tank. So there is a balance. Sometimes you do have to throw over this ledge and spend some time at full ink tank, and maybe it's worth it. But in that case, I think you spent just a little bit too much time at full ink tank for it to be worth. I think you should throw an egg from like here to closer area and then throw it again. And I think that would be more worth. So another thing, be very careful about doing this little painting action. Now, technically, in this comp, all of these weapons, except for 96, have white ink. But ballpoint's white ink is not very good. It's a pretty fair amount. So try not to shoot if you don't have to. Because it's gonna just waste so much more time when you have to deal with the white ink. Sorry, let me erase that. Yes. it's mainly shooters that don't deal with white ink as much. Ironically, this is something I found out kind of recently. G Blaster has the lowest white ink. It's ridiculous. I don't know why. It's like 6 frames. Shooters are like 20 or something. I don't know. It's something like that. You can check the. I can actually let me link the DPS chart. Let me search for it really quick. This is from Centratide, who translated this. Thank you, Centratide. And if you go to the column that says something about ink consumption, there should be frame data. Oh, ink lock. There it is. Yeah, so I'm looking at ballpoint. Ballpoint is 40 frames. It's actually not as much as I thought, but it's the same as all the other Splatnings. What's Luna? Luna's 55 frames. Okay, wow, it's worse. Okay, I did not know that. That is news to me. Oh, Flingza. Flingza has 45 frames and 65 frames. Wow, that is so bad. Well, I guess you're better than Luna. Better than Luna shooting, but of course 96 is the lowest. At 20. Yeah, I was right, it was 20. Okay, let me link this in the chat. If you would like to save that somewhere, I have it saved somewhere in my drive, a shortcut to it. Because like I said earlier in the stream, I am a numbers guy. I like to look at the numbers and understand them and make decisions based on them. Okay, let's go back to this. This is a little bit greedy. I think you should have had someone else should have come with you to get those eggs, so it didn't have to be you at the very end getting all the eggs from the second crate. But at the point that you were by yourself, I think you couldn't throw 3 there. But it's not like it would have changed your score. I mean, you got the eggs. Yeah, it's tough with that split. I think one of your teammates had to come help you. Because when you have those are the 2 good crates, right? Yeah, you got the 2 good crates. So I think the split should be approximately. Let me pull up the map. This is yard, low tide. Oh wow, low tide. Wait. Sure, I'll just. Okay, I don't have a picture of the basket at Tornado, but let's say there's one person. Whoops. All right, it's super small. Let's say there's one person here throwing eggs. So 1 here, 1 in the middle, and 2. Oh, you can't even see that. 2 at the basket. That was approximately your split, right? I think this 2 is a bit too much. You don't need 2 people at basket for the good crits, which are the left crits. By the way, left is good, right is bad. For tornado on yard. So you got both the good crates. I think you needed to have either this be a 2 or this be a 2. I guess it depends on the lessers. I think the lessers are like here. But yeah. I think you did the best you could. Skip coho. I wasn't sure if anyone wants to respond. Do you think I should review Triumvirate? Because I was like considering like, should I save the Triumvirate waves on Bay random? I was like, nah. I mean, they're kind of the same, right? It's always like I could say one thing about one Triumvirate wave, and that pretty much applies to all of them. They're not too different. It's mostly mechanics or like noting the time when you're gonna get targeted by jaw. So I decided not to, but maybe I'll do it in the future. I don't know. Depends on what people want. Maybe I'll ask and see, oh, do you want to review your triumvirate? I don't know. It's not exactly overfishing, so that's why I didn't include it. Ooh, they're seeking. Remember, you are the lesser clearer. And there are other people who can seek better than you can. The bombs are good though. You want to be roasted? I try not to frame this as a roasting session. Like, I know sometimes it ends up being that way. But yeah, I mean, if you want to submit, it's in the description. It won't. The next one won't be for a while though. Yeah, I don't. There's not much to comment on for this seek, honestly. I mean, the snatchers are watched. You avoided killing the snatchers on the left side, which was good. Generally, your teammates did pretty well with seeking, like finding the goldies. Seemed pretty good to me. Interesting. I wonder why you threw the egg over there. I actually don't know. I'm not sure if it was a misinput. Ideally, you wouldn't have to Stun those scrappers. You threw that egg to find snatchers. I want to re-watch that. Wait, this is not the right wave. What was that wave again? Wave 2, right? Right. So you see the snatchers. I wonder if you could have seen them a little bit earlier. Yeah, I guess you weren't really looking towards that direction. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Usually I would try not to have to throw an egg and just leave an egg instead, but of course you probably know that. I'm watching this again. I don't know. Hard to say I have any other comments. I do usually like to throw the egg to further away from the basket. To be honest, it's usually not me that does it in my team. Okay. I would have shot that stick there. Lots of statics. Yummy. Yeah, maybe the egg priority could have been a little bit better there. Oh, I feel like it's maybe I'm tired. I don't know. It's hard for me to think of things to say to improve. I don't know. I mean, I could say, oh, there was this little moments in time when you spent too much time shooting the fan with ballpoint. I don't know. Yeah, I guess the most I can say it's just mechanics. I'm sure there were little mistakes made here and there by your teammates too, but the luring seemed pretty good. The decision making seemed pretty good. Special usage was fine. I mean, you didn't get any particularly interesting specials these couple games. Prioritization of statics was pretty good. Just little mechanic movement things. All I can really say. Maybe I need to see another VOD on a different map. Because, gonna be honest, Yard is my least played map. So I'm the least familiar with it. But still. I mean, at least at least the tornado stuff should help, right? Maybe a little bit. All right. Well, that's all I have. It's the end of this VOD. If anyone has any feedback, please feel free to let me know. Yeah, I don't do these very frequently, so that's why I said my next one won't be for a while. The other reason is because I don't really get enough submissions to do a whole VOD review session until a while. But I mean, if people submit to me, like a lot of people submit, then maybe I'll do one sooner. But usually if it's just like one VOD, then I'm not going to, do a stream just for that. So we'll see. I'm not sure when it's going to be, but maybe I should give more updates. I could do that. And of course I'll fix the technical issues with audio desync. And what else? My stream quality? Yeah, I need to make my stream quality better. All right. Thanks for watching. Again, please feel free to give me feedback. Submit if you're interested in getting reviewed by me. And yeah, I'll see you guys. My next stream will probably be next week. I'm going to be playing Sockeye 1 random. So yeah, look out for that. Thank you for being here, Nightwolf. All right.